Sales of video equipment and software slumped in October, but our guest is cautiously optimistic when it comes to gaming this holiday season. John Riccitiello is Chief Executive Officer of Electronic Arts, the world's leading developer and publisher of interactive entertainment, and he joins us straight from the Reuters Global Media Summit. So thank you so much for coming over here. Given the economy, given the fact that unemployment is still high, there's no huge blockbuster out there that seems to be driving sales. How can you be cautiously optimistic?
Well, I think, first off, it's holiday season, right? And we just went through, the Thanksgiving weekend, and there are a lot of great titles out there. Whether the titles are from Electronic Arts, titles like Left 4 Dead 2 is doing very well. Madden, FIFA, the #1 game in Europe by far. Titles like Need for Speed, or family game night if you want to, cuddle up with the family and play, Hasbro traditional games. We've got a lot of great stuff. There are competitor titles out there that are also strong. So I think we're all pretty optimistic about where the industry is. There's no doubt that there's a little bit of a pallor out there with, unemployment and the economy. But people need to be entertained, and games are a great value.
What about the hardware part of this puzzle? Because there have been some price cuts, but it doesn't seem to have really juiced up the sales of games. Where do you think that price point needs to be? Do you think that's going to get there?
Well, first off, you're probably aware, but the Microsoft Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and the Nintendo Wii all lowered their price over the last quarter. We actually have seen a pretty substantial pickup in hardware sales, in particular for the PlayStation 3. So
you're happy with the pickup you've seen?
The pickup's pretty much in line with what we'd anticipated. Now, the other thing I would point out, though, is that the lowest price hardware out there is $199. In the history of our industry, most hardware typically sells for $149 or below. And so that's still in front of us. So that makes us feel good about the longer term. As hardware manufacturers get to that price point, we'll see, yet again, a big pickup in sales.
Now that's only one part of your business that would really apply to the console base, but there's this whole other part, the digital area. You were talking about that in the summit, saying, you're the world's leader in the package games, but in digital it's 4 to 5% market share. Is it tougher to compete in that area?
No, it's actually just really, it's new to compete in that sector. So, when people think of games, they traditionally think in the U.S. of what sells on the Xbox, the PlayStation, or the Wii. And they forget about all these online services that are out there, subscription, microtransactions, games that they find on Facebook, or if they go to Pogo, or if they play Warhammer online, or they download games, or they get them by way of their mobile phone or their iPhone. And if you add all that stuff up, it's almost half the industry now. It's about 40 to 45%. Next year, it's likely to be the largest share of the total industry. It'll be bigger than the console games all put together. And a couple years ago, EA embarked on a plan to really build itself up in this new frontier. And in the last quarter alone, we did $138 million in revenue. And if EA's digital businesses were a standalone company, it would be like the darling of Wall Street as a standalone business. Now it's in a larger company right now, but we're building it very quickly. And our goal at Electronic Arts is to have a very profitable packaged goods business, but also to have a digital business of a similar scale over time.
Would you ever consider spinning that off? You say it would be the darling of Wall Street.
I guess anything's possible, but no, that's not been high on the agenda.
What about all these little deals you've been making? It seems you had Playfish. These come in and help get up that digital market share. But is there a big deal on the horizon? Obviously, a lot is changing in this landscape. Could you ever see some big consolidation in your industry? EA, Take-Two. I mean, are there any things out there you can imagine on the forefront?
Well, it's funny. It's always hard to imagine the thing that people haven't yet speculated on in terms of big consolidation, et cetera. And yes, we did look at Take-Two in the past. From the perspective of Electronic Arts, when we look at M&A, we look for three things. We look for sort of new business models that will help the rest of our business be stronger, where our intellectual property will do well there. So that's what we got with Playfish. These people Playfish reaches 60 million people a month, through their games, and yet they don't have the same intellectual properties that we have in titles like The Sims or FIFA or, pick our titles, but there's a large number of them that can do well on that platform. And, we look at that combination and see huge synergy. Sometimes we do it organically, like we did with the iPhone business. A year and a half ago, we didn't have an iPhone business. Today, we're the, wide leader on the iPhone with properties like Rock Band, properties like The Sims, We brought them there, and they've been very, very successful. So we're constantly trying to conquer new territory, in particular on the digital side. So when you ask about deals, we're mostly looking at digital side. We're mostly looking at compatible organizations from a cultural perspective. And of course, you need to agree on price. And those are three hurdles that are often difficult to reach.
Yeah, price is always the tough one. Well, John Riccitiello, Chief Executive Officer of Electronic Arts, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
This is Reuters.